I'm already dreading this, folks. I am already dreading going through this because I just know that there are so many things that I predicted that have just... they've just fallen apart. There's one prediction I'm sure I got right, but I'm sure everyone else got that right as well, so... And I think we all know what we're talking about, or what I'm talking about in this case. Hello, everyone. So, way back in February, I made a prediction video for the F1 2023 season. It was, days before the first race of the season could get underway. And this was after pre-season testing. So, we kind of got a bit of an idea of what the cars were going to be like and the early signs of what the season might transpire to be. So yeah, but there were some things that obviously you may not have predicted to come to fruition, like with McLaren, for example, as well as Nick de Vries getting the boot midway through the season, I guess. So yeah, but I made a prediction in terms of where, which driver was finishing where, and just certain comments as well that are probably going to age like milk, so I'm not ready for this. I'm dreading it. Let's get into this video because it's about half an hour, so yeah, let's cut right to the chase. Oy. Where is my... which driver will finish where? I'll start from 20th all the way up to first, as well as give... And it doesn't include Danny Rick, because I don't want to... and Liam Lawson. I usually do that, so I'll try... Because like I said, we did not anticipate Helmut Marko deciding to tell Nick de Vries to piss off, so... Yeah, the idea is, when it comes to... Then again, it shouldn't be a surprise, given Helmut Marko. Abu Dhabi? Sargent has shown some promise with him being a very, very good qualifier. Although I do expect Albon to what was the gap between him. I feel like Sargent and Albon? Him a good run for his money, especially 21-0. This is his rookie year, so I'm not expecting miracles from Sargent, especially in Williams. They were pretty much last season in no man's land. Yuki 19th. Oh no! Oh no! With testing, they're not really showing much confidence, in my opinion. 14th. And not just that, though, but there has been a lot of hype in regards to Nick de Vries. And I just don't feel like Tsunoda is going to outperform. I feel like this is going to be a very, very obviously pivotal year for Tsunoda. Liam. Like last season, AlphaTauri are going to be in no man's land. 18th, which they pretty much were. Alexander Albon. Yeah. Albono. Albon finished 13th. He had a really, really neat season in terms of returning to the F1 grid last season. And like I said, I don't know, I was thinking Williams was not going to be decent, but Albon, there were times where Albon was just sticking it within the top 6. To the first race in Bahrain. But I do feel like Albon is going to score a couple of points. He scored, 27 points? Say a bit more and that's why I'm putting him in 18th. 17th, Nick de Vries. No way. Well, we already know about Nick. We've had a lot of, commentary about if de Vries is technically a rookie. He is, in my opinion. Well, anyways, he's not an F1 driver. That's one thing we can definitely confirm. AlphaTauri, I feel like, 16th, we've got Oscar Piastri. Definitely wrong. But, yeah, McLaren. Yeah, well, here's the thing. I was just thinking about how McLaren were not looking too hot in pre-season testing, which they were not. And there was a side of me that was worried about the fact that, well, McLaren are going to have a really rough year for 2023. So, yeah. And again, like the AlphaTauri, there's only so much you can do. So when McLaren weren't really showing promise in pre-season testing, it got me thinking, this is probably not going to be a really great year for McLaren. And then they show up at Silverstone and they just put it in second and third, I think it was. To the surprise of, I think, a lot of people. And from there on, they just really had it great. Because, after, obviously, Red Bull... there were moments when they were the second fastest car on the grid. So, which is a big difference to the signs they were showing in pre-season testing.
So I do hope that Piastri does give Norris a bit of a run for his money. But
which he did,
I'm not expecting too much from Piastri in his first season. I mean, this is his first season as well, like Sargent. So I don't want to be unfair and expect him to get a podium or whatever.
Well, he got quite a few of them.
McLaren in pre-season
and a win.
testing.
So
to be fair, I feel like McLaren.
He said, "Don't give me pity. I'm going to score a podium."
In the ass because they could pull points, but I'm not expecting him to beat Bottas. Although I don't expect too much from Bottas this season.
Funny enough, he did bag a couple of points.
I feel like the Alfa Romeo will be, all right. I feel like it will pip McLaren. But I don't expect them to shoot up the order, and Zhou Guanyu,
which they
I feel
did
like
not.
He will,
they
still be a decent.
They were like
driver.
a ghost at times.
Expecting Hulkenberg to get the better of K-Mag. I feel like K-Mag, especially with last season and him getting
didn't get the better
miraculous pole position.
K-Mag.
Going
No,
to
he
be
did. He
a bit
did.
more confident.
K-Mag was 19th, and
Haas are going
Hulk
to
was 16th.
be in a bit more of a comfortable position. Obviously, Mick was retiring, but he's still. I still feel like he's a very fundamental asset for Alfa Romeo, and
I'd say either
like
next
year,
this
very
upcoming year,
especially with the fact that
although he does want to stick around till 2026, but they've got to give Porsche the seat at some point. So either he's going or Zhou's going.
Might be 8th. I don't know. 7th, if anything, but. It's just very, very difficult. I feel like Norris is going to try and drag that car as much as possible. So I've got 11th, Lance Stroll. Now, Stroll is an okay-ish driver. I mean,
okay-ish.
He does, do feel like he will score a decent amount of points, especially with the
he did, to be fair,
an
but
outstanding car this season, apparently. Because
yeah,
pre-season testing, they were the talk of the town.
And it's just so tragic how far they fell.
In regards to, they might not be as promising as Aston Martin, but K-Mag did a really, really neat job last season.
And I was kind of hoping for that this season, but
from F1 for a bit. Choice I was gonna have in 9th place, and that's his teammate Pierre Gasly.
Funny I say that,
and they're both
because they only finished 4 points separated from each other, and Gasly just beat Ocon, so wasn't far off. I was just expecting the Alpine to
very hungry to capitalize,
pump out a bit more.
So yeah, I'm merging them two together. Gasly 8th, Ocon 9th. Because
Gasly 11th, Ocon 12th.
The way I'm seeing things, Alpine are probably 4th, 5th best team, depending. It depends on
to be fair,
on what's going to happen with Aston Martin, especially with Stroll, because I feel like with Alpine, they've got a really, really solid lineup. I'm not, and
then they took each other out in, what was it, Australia?
But yeah. Alonso 7th. Best of the rest. He's a two-time world champion.
To be fair, though,
precedent of making bad career choices.
I'll just pause it here. To be fair, though, I've got Alonso 7th. He finished 4th. Okay, yeah, another one wrong. I don't need to be reminded, but you just think back to the final race, and Charles was 7th in the standings, and you were thinking, there's no way that he's going to. Because it was, him, Sainz, Lando and Alonso in this little, mini fight to see who would finish in 4th. Because Max wins all, we got that already. Perez 2nd. Hamilton was confirmed to be 3rd, so it was, although, it wasn't really confirmed, but yeah, it wasn't looking good for Hamilton. But then again, it wasn't looking good for Charles. To finish, I guess, joint 4th with Alonso, because he was 7th, he was way, way back, and then the final race happened. So, yeah. And, in the end, there was only I'm looking, 6 points separating 4th to 7th. So, I'm not exactly wrong in regards to placing Alonso here. And that is eliminating the fact that Aston had a huge decline, because I was not expecting that, but here we are. But I also was, I was also thinking that, well, Mercedes and Ferrari are not going to let this shit slide, so they're going to give Aston a run for their money. So, yeah.
Alonso's finest hour in terms of, where he would rather be in terms of a championship. But it was a lot better than 2014, where things just went downhill for him. But this could be a really,
I will
really
never
solid
forget that
opportunity.
disaster of a Ferrari in 2014.
We've had Alonso on the podium before, ever since his return. So I'm expecting Alonso to grab a few podiums this season. If Aston Martin's
I'm taking all small victories as much as possible, because I'm getting so much wrong here.
Number 6, George Russell. Mercedes.
No, 8th.
Yeah,
I'm
it seems
low-key
like
disappointed in George, to be fair, this season.
Have a bit of a repeat of last season, albeit a bit better.
That's subjective, because Hamilton did finish 3rd.
To have,
but they didn't get a win this season.
That Perez, who I've put down as 5th, which I'll get onto in a moment, because
it's funny.
I've made some bold choices in regards to Hamilton. So yeah, but
would say it's bold,
very,
but
very
I will.
it's
funny. I say I make some bold choices in regards to Hamilton. I made a bold choice here. It's almost like I could, for this one prediction, I could see into the future about how piss poor Perez was going to be. So, because if it wasn't for him just constantly missing Q3, he was just not there with Max. And yeah, it's like he should have finished 5th, given how poor his form was this season. So
just have this bad feeling inside of me that this is not going to be as much of a great year for Perez than it was last season.
Far from it, Callison.
Especially with the fact that I feel like Hamilton, who I've got as 4th, there might be a bit more confidence this season. The beginning of last season, he was just not having the best of times. They've regarded the W13 as one of their worst models, but
W14 might take that mantle
forward season than last season.
Results-wise, unpredictable.
I've got Carlos Sainz.
Oh, this is where the pain comes in.
The Ferrari, this Ferrari seemed to be more suited to Sainz. It seems to be a bit more understeery. Sainz has
Look, if I speak, I'm in big trouble.
A bit more confident about the car. This is going to be a bit more of a confident year for Sainz if the car is more suited towards him. So yeah.
Which,
in second, and I hate to say this,
it's just bold as well. Me putting.
I want this guy to be first, but I just cannot see it happening.
Yeah, it's only a dream at the minute. Next year, 2024 is our year.
I feel dirty saying that, because, like
so
I said,
you
I want the guy. There is not much confidence compared to obviously who I've got as the champion for 2023, Max Verstappen.
That Dutch national anthem was a constant, and it was a nightmare. No offense.
Acting in pre-season testing, the car is gelling to him.
Max was on another level.
Who kind of beat himself up when there could be the guy
and Max, and GP, his race engineer, just get into arguments.
Although I do get it, I always beat myself up.
Okay, this isn't about you, Liam.
Yeah, like I said,
I know you're going through a rough patch at this point of recording, but no.
I do feel like the Ferrari is not going to be as strong as the Red Bull. I feel like there is no sweat at the minute for Red Bull. Everyone is so certain, and everyone is saying that the Red Bull is the faster car in terms of what they saw in pre-season testing. Obviously, Ferrari could have an ace up their sleeve.
I wish.
But I
They
doubt
do,
it.
they do not.
I feel like Max
they're not
has got this
capable
nailed
of that.
down. I mean, yeah, the Leclerc can adapt to an understeery car,
Which he did.
but it's about nailing that car as well. And I feel like Verstappen might have this on. Well, I say he might have this on easy mode. I don't think he's going to be as dominant as he was last season.
Oh,
I feel
ouch! He is not going to be as dominant as 2022. I gotten a lot of stuff wrong in this video, but I feel like that was the one that really, like, if I was getting beaten up for everything I said wrong, I think that one was just a kick in the crown jewels, because, yeah, how many times did we hear the Dutch national anthem every Sunday? How many times were we just resigned to the idea that after the first corner on lap 1, lights out, Max Verstappen leads, and Max Verstappen wins? Yeah, it's not going to be as dominant as 2022. That is... Yeah. You'll never guess which prediction I did get right. Oh, man. I just can't believe I also said I don't think it's going to be as dominant as 2022. Oh, it wasn't as dominant. It was greater than that. It was a murder. It was... You know, Max could have it on easy mode, but this was on very easy mode for Max this season. Max was just unstoppable, and I'm just hoping that we are not going to get a repeat of that for 2024, because I will yeet myself out the window if I have to, you know, go through a season-long duration of Max Verstappen wins, Max Verstappen wins, Max Verstappen wins. So, yeah. And he had a streak going on. I mean, he could have had a longer streak going on if Sainz didn't win in Singapore. So, yeah. But see, that's kind of a that's kind of a sight to behold, actually, with Sainz just winning, stopping my streak from getting any longer, because that would have looked hideous. I mean, and not just that, though, but the entire board would have been, you know, purple in terms of, okay, this is the teams that won in 2023. Oh, yeah, team, plural, because only Red Bull won. So, yeah. And here we were, hoping that things would be a bit different at the start of the season, but yeah. I mean, that's it, though. Verstappen was looking pretty hot in pre-season testing, but I don't think we got the sheer grasp of how OP that Red Bull was. So, yeah. Ugh. It was just painful. It was just painful. And alongside that, you know, for me being a Ferrari fan, things were already painful anyways. So, yeah. Because, like I said, with Charles, he didn't have a car that was built around him. And he still managed to beat Carlos just in a car that was adjusted. And, you know, I'm not making excuses or whatever. Because I can call out Charles when he can make a mistake as well, like he has done this season. But I think with the influence that Daddy Sainz has, as well as the fact that I think this was Binotto's last car before he got given the boot. Yeah, so... And not just that, though, but there is a clear difference in regards to the SF75 and the SF23 in terms of, the Ferrari was in 2022 was a car that was, you know, It was you never had any doubt unless the engines were going to blow up. You had no doubt that they would be finishing on the podium, and there were moments where, you know, it was giving flashbacks to 2020 with just how the car was. So, but I think the biggest disappointment was definitely Aston Martin and their draw, because they were looking really, really amazing. Like I said, they were the talk of the town in the paddock in pre-season testing, and suddenly they just declined, whereas McLaren just shot up the order. So, yeah, but that's it. With this video, I was taking small victories and all of that, but, you know, there were some things that, yeah, I did get wrong, but I wasn't really far off. Like Alonso, for example, I put him in P7, and that was not acknowledging the fact that Aston Martin would just sink. But I also thought in my mind that, well, Ferrari and Mercedes are not exactly going to just lie down and take this new challenge. So, yeah, but it is just crazy how things did work out in regards to, you know, not acknowledging Aston's downfall, but still having Alonso 7th. So, even though he did finish 4th in the standings, like I said, he wasn't that far off from 7th. Like I said, with Leclerc, he should not have finished joint 4th when the season concluded. He was 7th. He was a ways off from Sainz and Lando, as well as Alonso, I guess. But he managed to overtake Norris and Sainz in the championship, and be joint level with Alonso. So, and that is just insane. But hey, what can you say? I support a very talented driver, so. But yeah, of course, I'll probably do a pre-season predictions for 2024. Because this is it, though. At the end of the day, this is all for fun and whatnot. So I'm not taking this seriously and all of that. Yeah, it's just so funny me saying certain things back in February. It's December, and you just cringe at what you've just said in regards to, oh, well, I don't expect this to happen. I don't expect Tsunoda, for example, to beat De Vries. And then it's like, oi, so, but, yeah, so. Oh boy. But just having a look, see. K-Mag finished 19th, but if you eliminate Ricciardo, yeah, he would have finished 18th. Zhou 17th. So doesn't change anything. I've still got things wrong. Heavily wrong with K-Mag. What was I thinking? Actually, putting K-Mag in 10th. Eek. But yeah, those were my predictions, and this, I guess, was the reaction to my predictions for the 2023 season. So yeah, but hopefully you guys enjoyed that pain, because I was going through pain watching the video, seeing, oh, that's another one wrong. That's another one wrong. So. Oh well, you can't win them all, I guess, at the end of the day. We're not perfect. Anyways, yes, that is me, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed this little video. Something a little bit different from my usual brand of stuff that I do, but it's still a reaction video, I guess. It's just me reacting to me, so, which is weird. Into the cataverse, right? But yeah, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction video. And yeah, until the next time, toodles!